What's up, Sky Squad? It's your boy DJ Richie Sky. We are back in the building. Yes, guys, let me know if you guys can see and hear me clearly. In the good chatterization, let me know if you guys can see and hear me clearly. Okay, Sky Squad, let me know. Okay. Waiting to see if you guys can hear me clearly. Also, let me know in the chatterization where you guys are watching from. Let me know where you guys are watching from. Okay, Omar says you guys can see and hear me clearly. Just wanted to make sure. In the new space, y'all. I'm in the new space and ain't got nothing set up yet, but I'm still trying to find a way to bring y'all this good tea. So we're going to get into it. Today, we're going to be talking about the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 5, Episode 8. Okay, we are I'm thinking we're like halfway through the season, y'all. I'm thinking we're halfway through the season. And so last night, we got some interesting stuff happening. We got Michael and Ashley Darby admitting to all the craziness going on with these pictures floating around with Michael in his undies and whatnot up in the MGM with this girl or whatever. Then we got to talk about Karen and Robyn going at it on social media. And I don't know if y'all caught that or not yet. And then, of course, last night was the dragorization of all dragorizations. This is when Candiace told Monique, "You're going to drag me? You're going to drag me?" And it looked like Monique might have dragged her. Okay, we're going to talk about that. Okay. Listen, in the chatterization, I see y'all. San Diego, Charleston, I got y'all. Illinois, hey boo, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I see y'all up in here. Thank you so much for tuning in and rocking with me, even though, we trying to make it do what it do in a brand new space, y'all. Still trying to figure it out. But let's get into all the stuff that we need to talk about today. Now, I'm going to get into the first news item, which is basically going to be this situation with Karen and Robyn. Now, in the chat, let me know if you guys saw the episode from last night or not. If you did, just give me a yes. If you didn't, give me a no. But if you did happen to watch the episode, you will see that at the end of the episode, Candiace and Monique get into the craziest argument. It was kind of wild that this actually escalated into anything more than two women yelling at each other and then going about their merry way. It was very surprising that it escalated like that. And so the way we actually saw it on camera, it almost felt like they were arguing for hours and we ended up just seeing a chopped up version of it. But I don't know. I won't dare. Anyway, Karen Huger says, "My heart sank at this, but I spy some gleeful green eyes. Hashtag the anointed one and her hashtag wingman." So she's basically calling out Robyn and Gizelle when she says this, and she made this post on Instagram. So Robyn claps back and says, "Really, Karen? You watch your friends getting into it and all you can do is worry about us? That's whack as HELL." Karen says, "Not worried, just stating a fact." Now, holla in the chatterization if you guys agree with Karen on this one, okay? I see So What says Karen is right. Both green-eyed monsters were smiling from ear to ear. Jamal O says Robyn didn't deny the accusation, though. Okay. Y'all are silly. Tish P, I agree with you. Karen is done with the green eyes of envy. I feel like Karen is basically calling Gizelle out at any opportunity that she can because no one else is really doing it in the episodes. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of you guys are agreeing with Karen, okay? Amiri says that Robyn was smiling, but I think it's just because Robyn is always smiling and laughing when people are laughing. Let's see here. Sorry about that, y'all. We had some interesting noises going on with this phone. Now, someone says they are not responsible for the altercation. You're right. They're absolutely not responsible for it. But can we all probably agree that Gizelle wanted the two of them to go at it in some way, shape, or form? I just don't think that she ever thought that they would actually have an altercation. That's what I think about this whole situation. But that's just me. Paris says Karen doesn't call her out to her face. Hold on to that, Paris, because I think it's coming. Okay? Barbara says Karen is calling a thing, okay? Some inside tea about the situation that occurs after the altercation. I want you guys, if they play it all the way that my sources are kind of telling me that it occurs, you guys will see some interesting things occurring with the Green Eye Bandits afterwards. But we'll talk about that more after the episode airs next week. I'm assuming it's next week. Anyway, so just a quick question for you guys in the Good Chatterization. What would you rate last night's episode on a scale of 1 to 10? You guys know every time we have an episode, we always like to rate the episode what we think about it. For me, out of a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it an 8.5. Okay, I'm going to give it an 8.5. And let me tell you why I'm going to give it an 8.5. I thought it was a really good episode, right? But the pros to me were obviously, we're going to talk about the genius editing and the time jumps. Okay, the editing was brilliant on this episode, particularly at the beginning. Okay, they get snaps for the editing at the beginning. Okay, and I loved them breaking the fourth wall, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this when we talk about Ashley and Michael right up next. But I loved kind of seeing this moment right here where Michael is kind of like, cut. I've had enough. But here are why I'm going to take away points. I'm going to take away points for the utter lack of Karen Huger in last night's episode. We got very little of Karen in last night's episode, and Karen provides comic relief. Okay. This is, we're going to come back to this, Gina. We're going to come back to this statement. Gina says, Candiace was collateral damage. This is all about Monique. The Green Eye Bandits don't like Monique, period. We'll talk about that later. I'm taking away points because the utter lack of Karen Huger. I just feel like Karen makes the confessionals, the shade in her confessionals, it makes the episode every single time. Then we had a very long rehash scene of Robyn and her parents talking about Juan. We already knew how they felt about Juan, to be quite honest with you. And I felt like seeing this scene regurgitated would have been better placed in a future episode once we had gotten past the Ashley stuff and the Candiace and Monique altercation. Because I feel like it was so out of left field that we forgot about that. Let's see that later. It didn't make sense for this episode, okay? The other thing that I want to talk about is we didn't get a wide angle view of the altercation, okay? The altercation between Candiace and Monique that has been building up for weeks on weeks and weeks, actually since last year, we didn't get a wide angle view of it, so we didn't actually get to see all angles of how it happened. They did this weird split screen, and then they cut half of the screen to watch what happens live, and I was like, wait, what? And then it was odd to me. I would have preferred a wide angle view of it so that I can see for myself exactly what happened and not how they edited it together, okay? We didn't get a preview for next week's episode, which led me to believe that maybe we weren't going to get an episode for next week. So that either means that we're going to get an episode next week, and we might get the mid-season trailer this week. So that is my hope and my expectation, is that we're going to get a mid-season trailer this week, because when I check Google, you can actually Google which episode dates the episodes are coming out on. And when I Google episode 10, it says September 27th, which is next week. So to me, I'm not clear what's going on, but I had to take away points for all of those things. Okay. Now, Worthy View says Monique will be on Watch What Happens Live on October 4th. To me, it doesn't make sense because I feel like if that's the case, then wouldn't we want to see Monique on next week, since we saw Candiace on Watch What Happens Live on this week? That's what would make the most sense to me. Why are we waiting until the following week to see what Monique has to say? It seems like you will put them back to back, especially if the altercation is going to really go down next week. And someone asked if we were going to see it next week. And I feel like we're going to see probably as much of it that we saw tonight. Okay. And a lot of the aftermath. That's what I think. So that's why I have to give this episode an 8.5. We're going to talk about Candiace on Watch What Happens Live as well, because there were some interesting things that happened on there. You're right, she did not take any accountability for any part of the fight at all in any way, shape, or form. She basically said that Monique had basically just went off on her, and she basically made it seem like she went off on her for no reason at all. And I feel like both people, both people have to take accountability for their actions. You know what I'm saying? At a certain point in time, like, both people are responsible. Thank you. Cheryl Lynn says, watching it now, so your live is playing, but I have the volume down. Praying your move is smooth and done. Proud to be in the Sky Squad. Thank you. Love you for that super chat as well. Actually, Taylor Ann says episode 10 on October 4th. So I'm confused as well. We'll have to, once I find out what's really going on with the episode for next week, I will let you guys know in either the chat or the texting community, which you guys can also, join the texting community as well. So I can send you a text message as soon as the new video drops. But once I get that information, I will let you guys know. And then we'll move on right now to Ashley and Michael. I'm titling this section right here, "The Fun is Over." Okay, the fun is over. Did y'all catch Ashley and Michael last night? Okay, were you surprised by Ashley and Michael last night? I, for one, I wasn't surprised. I was sort of surprised that he admitted to going to the hotel room with old girl, okay? I'm surprised that he admitted to going to the hotel with old girl, okay? Now, in this scene where she is confronting him, because she's basically already confronted him at home, and I guess the cameras weren't up, so they had to catch it on camera. He's sitting down at a restaurant, so, nobody can get up and yell and scream. But to me, she was oddly calm about it. It was almost as if she was conducting a business transaction, and she was annoyed that he made the wrong business move. Have you ever had a colleague of yours do something wrong at work and you just be annoyed that they did something wrong, and now it caused you to have to do extra work, and you just looking at them like, I'm so disappointed in you. Like, now I got to sit here and I got to do all this extra work because of you. That's what it felt like to me. That's what it felt like to me. It was just weird. It was just very, very strange. Okay. He says that he was worried about talking to her about it, so that's why he didn't say anything. But to me, I felt like he wanted her to go on the trip and take the baby, so the baby wouldn't be around, so he could do whatever he wanted to do that weekend. So to me, it seemed like he was planning, okay, to have some shenanigans go on during the weekend that she was going to be away anyway, and the cameras weren't going to be around either. So he planned to go out and have himself a merry old time. And then the next time she did try to talk to him about the text messages that Candiace had received from her friend, at that point in time, he didn't even want to talk to her because she had disturbed his day at work. So to me, I'm like, but you claim to be apologetic now, but it's like just the 2 days beforehand, at least from what we know, okay, you didn't seem all that pressed to even talk to your wife in general. You wanted her to go, okay? Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Okay? Now, he claims that he went to a hotel and was so drunk, he fell asleep. Now, come on now. Which one of y'all in the chatterization believes that? Who believes that? I don't believe it, not for one bit. Let me tell you something. If you go into the hotel room, you about to do something, okay? You about to do something. And the fact of the matter is, you had to take off your clothes in order to do it. Because see, y'all know, we done all been there. If you drunk and you pass out on somebody's bed, chances are, and if you ain't doing nothing with them, you passing out in your clothes because you're so drunk. That's how drunk most people get when they pass out like that. But the fact of the matter is, you had to get up. You ain't have on no clothes. All you had on was your underwear, which leads me believe that something happened. Some type of rubbing and touching happened up in that room. Something happened. And then I just have to wonder, did this girl plan on setting him up from the get-go? Did she plan on setting him up from the get-go? Because it almost sounds like she spotted him, knew who he was, okay? Knew who he was, and then said, I'm gonna get this one. I'm gonna get this one. And then when she got into the hotel room, she's snapping photos, sending them to the blogs. Who does that? Who does that? He can't even cheat in peace. He can't even cheat in peace, okay? This I feel like this person, whoever she is, it felt like she was planning to expose him all along. That's how it comes across to me. I don't know. It just something seems fishy about all of this, and I just don't get it. You know what I mean? I just don't get it. He also says we lost our intimacy. Okay, and what did he say? And I was craving some of that, and I shouldn't be. You talking about you craving intimacy the way you craving some French fries, okay? I'm craving some French fries, so let me drive on to the store and go get some, okay? Let me drive up to the McDonald's to get some. That's not how you go about getting some intimacy. And if you're feeling like you're missing it from your wife, I mean, then you need to talk to her about it. If y'all already have an open relationship, you need to just tell her, hey, boo, I'm about to go and meet old girl from down the street. I'll be back. I'll see you in about 2 hours or 15 minutes, however long it takes. You know what I'm saying? To get that intimacy that you're looking for. Okay, if you want the fries, she clearly open to you going to get some fries from down the street. I don't understand. Just go get your fries from down the street. Tell your wife, girl, you out of town. You took the kid too. I'm about to get busy this weekend. That's what you should have done, okay? That's what you should have done. Y'all relationship so open, why you ain't tell her? That's what don't make sense to me, okay? So I want to point to you guys something else. She says, if there was a girl who liked me and I liked the girl, okay, let me actually pull it up for you guys so you guys can see it. She says, if there was a girl who liked me and I liked the girl, and we would do whatever together. So I guess whatever means doing the hokey pokey. Y'all know what I'm talking about. However they get down, however they do it, okay? And then he says, yeah, but I've always done that with you. So I was clueless as to what that means. Like, did he mean that anytime they had some extracurriculars, it was always with Ashley and then some other woman? Okay, so and how many times do you do that? This is such a good question. Somebody asked, how do you cheat in an open relationship? Listen, I guess it happens, okay? She says, right, but what if I told you that I don't want to do that anymore? She says, I'm telling you right here and right now. And this, guys, is when he says the fun is over, okay? He says the fun is over. So this man is more worried about the fun times that he having in their threesomes than he is with the fact that now he has a baby and a wife who no longer wants to have the threesomes. Now, my question is, just to be fair, did she tell him before this that she didn't want no more threesomes? What were the rules set aside for this relationship? That's what I need clarity on. Did you guys have rules that you had to tell each other when something was going on? Or is it just the fact that somebody caught him in it this time and y'all outed about it and now you got to make a big stink about it because you didn't want the people to know from the get-go that y'all was in an open relationship? Because if this was the case, to me, why didn't y'all tell us this when y'all first popped up on the scene 5 years ago, okay? When y'all first showed up on the scene 5 years ago, why didn't you just say it then? Why didn't you say it during the butt grabbing incident? Why didn't you say it during the incident when he patted that Andrew's butt when they was in season 1? Why didn't he say anything at all during all the accusations of previous seasons? Why are they just now admitting this in season 5? I don't understand it. Is anybody else as confused by that? I'm confused. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Leandra hit it on the head. Damage control. Boom. That's the lie she's telling to save face. Okay. Storyline's always changing. Ain't it weird? Ain't it weird? So anyway, she says this is the last straw for her. If she finds out anything else, it will be catastrophic for her. But I'm like, girl, he's already lying to you. He got to be lying. You can't pay me. You cannot pay me $1 million. Wait, you might be able to pay me $1 million, but you can't pay me to think that this man didn't go to this room and only went to sleep. That don't make no sense. Come on now. Come on now. Other than that, the other thing that I thought was interesting was when they broke the fourth wall and he said, he's telling the producer, he said, then the producer says, I appreciate you guys being honest and real about this. You know, Michael has said in the scene, he was like, I'm giving you guys all I can. I'm tired of having to put my business out there. Ashley says something that is very interesting to me. She says, I never really wanted to talk about our business and our personal life on camera. What? What? What do you mean you never wanted to talk about your business and your personal life on camera? You have claimed to be so open since season 1. And that has been your reason for outing so many other people's relationship issues. She went after Juan's relationship. She went after Karen's relationship. To me, I don't understand how it is to claim to want to be on a reality television show, but not actually show us a key part of your life that would put so many pieces of a puzzle together. I just don't get it. It don't make sense to me. I don't understand it. I have questions I need answers to. And unless somebody's going to give me these answers, I don't want to hear no more about it. Now, they better let some other things unravel in the coming episodes, because I got a lot of questions, because none of this thing makes sense to me. Okay. None of it makes sense to me. All right. That's just what I'm saying. Danielle said, Ashley said, pay me for my pain, child. Pay me for my pain. I can't wait for the reunion either. Tanika, you hit the nail on the head. It's different when you in the hot seat. Sounds hypocritical to me. I want to move on to a couple of miscellaneous items before we get to the altercation. Miscellaneous items. I want to talk about this. Candiace's remix. I just want to know, for my own knowledge, and I would love to ask Candiace this, why not just do a new song every season the way Kandi was doing it those couple of years, the way Kim Zolciak was doing it for a time, because she had the Tardy for the Party, the ring don't mean a thing, the way Luann does it on New York City. Luann comes out with a new single just about every single season. Would that not make more sense to you? And I know everybody got that thing that they want to do. You know, a go-go remix is, I mean, listen, you know, being in the DC area, you know what I'm saying? I definitely gets down with some go-go. You know what I'm saying? I definitely gets down with that. But at the end of the day, if you're trying to further your music career, I just feel like the best thing for you to do is to continue to put out music, especially if you're going to be working with somebody like Chucky Thompson. So I just feel like, listen, come on now. Let's make it make sense. Let's go ahead and drop a new song, drop some new beats. You know what I'm saying? Let's put this EP together, okay? Let's give me an LP, give me a long player, give me a long full album with Janet interludes and everything. That's how you do it to me. That's just what I'm saying. Come on. That's what makes sense to me. Anyway, I want to talk about Monique's podcast for a second. We done heard all this stuff about Monique's podcast. We done heard all this stuff about it. And then you don't even show us the podcast. You got to go look on her Instagram in order to see it. If it's going to become a plot point on the show, at least show us a collage of things that may have happened in it. You know what I'm saying? Flash back to it or something. For all this stuff that we done heard about this podcast, we ain't see it at all. Bravo. What is going on? Like, I don't understand. That didn't make sense to me. Okay. That just did not make sense to me. Didn't make sense. Okay. Show it to us. Okay. Show it to us. Gizelle says, I have a great decor style. Get with it. Was anybody else just as confused as I was when she said this? When she said, I have a great decor style. Get with it. Okay. Was y'all's face not like this? Because mine was definitely like, what? What? Where? How? Who did it? I don't get it. I just don't get it. Somebody make it make sense to me. Again, it's like that good Karen Huger says, Gizelle is a beautiful woman, but doggone it, this style, these fashions, it just ain't working, okay? Somebody like her needs to have an interior designer come in and design her home, okay? Somebody said, I love bashing Gizelle. No, that's not it. Let me get back on this whole, let me get back on the screen. Let me tell you what the problem is. Let me tell you what my problem is. Gizelle is the front face of this show, okay? The network puts her up to be the face of the show at times. If you're going to be the face of the show, you got to really be the baddest, okay? And so what that means is you got to come out the gate with all the fashions. You got to come out the gate with the bomb styles. You got to come out the gate with the bomb. You know what I'm saying? Everything got to be pristine. You know what I'm saying? Because they putting you up on a pedestal and you already beautiful. So the canvas is already there. All I'm saying is all you got to do next is fill in the blanks. Hire a stylist. Hire an interior designer. It makes sense, right? It makes sense to me. That's all I got to say. Exactly. I'm just saying. So what? I get it. You say I'm from the DMV area and I'm highly disappointed in her fashions. Don't make no sense. Don't make no sense to me. Exactly. Okay. Let's get into the winery. To me, this winery setup was just very awkward and weird. I've been to a lot of wineries. Well, not a lot. I've been to like several wineries here in different countries and stuff like that. And to me, this was one of the oddest setups of a winery. But listen, since I'm here in the DMV, I'll try it out for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Let y'all know how what is really given. You know what I'm saying? I like me a little bit of wine tasting. Ashley comes in, creeping in the back, like she creeping in the back in the church late, okay? And she comes in talking about how she might be expecting or something like that, or wanting another child or something. And everybody looking around the table like, girl, we just sent you thousands of articles about your man, you know, in a hotel room with somebody else, and you come up in here talking about having a baby? Get out of here. Don't make no sense. So she admits to the group that everything is true about Michael being in the hotel with the girl, being out with the strippers and stuff like that. But then she tells them that he said that he did not have relations with that woman that he was in the bed with and slept with all night. Nobody believes it, okay? Nobody believes it, all right? So they all just looking around, and surprisingly, the women do not tear her down. They don't laugh. They're not doing anything. Interestingly, they were very supportive of her. They asked the questions, and ultimately, they left it up to her to make the decision about what to do with her relationship. And she even acknowledges the fact that she did not do the same thing for a lot of them, but they have given her the grace that she never gave them. That was very interesting. And I thought that was very nice of them, a nice way for them to all handle it. And I felt like that was probably one of the highlights for the show for me, was seeing how they kind of briefly came together to support, but that was briefly taken away when Ashley asked Candiace if she and Monique were cool. Okay. And things go downhill very quickly from this. It seemed like Candiace was about to say she loved Monique or something like that. She did say it. I don't know where that was going. And then she says something like, I wrote it down, cancellations happen and you live with the cancellations. Basically, at that point, sort of taunting the fact that, hey, you know, we're not cool right now, so I had to cancel on you, and that's why, and that's that. This is what happens when you mess with me. I'm canceling on you. Which makes sense. Don't go to nobody's event that you're not cool with. I get it. You know, it is what it is. Okay. Monique says to the ladies, I'm meeting her where she's at. And that's way back over there. Okay. Way back over there. All right. Candiace, interestingly, has a knife that needs to be pulled away from her by Wendy. Wendy looking at her like, girl, give me this thing before you get to swinging. Okay. Now, Candiace is bothered with the fact that Monique was, according to Candiace in the episode, pretending to be asleep. Okay. But on Watch What Happens Live, Candiace said she doesn't know Monique, if Monique was asleep or not. So I kind of was confused about where that whole thing was going. Didn't understand it at all. Monique seems shocked by that. Candiace also seemed shocked that Monique had issues with the Charisse thing. And yet again, we are at a moment where the two ladies have issues with each other that should have been handled in private, okay? And not in the group. Because Gizelle, gleefully with Ashley, was prepping this whole scenario to go down at some point. But I definitely think that she did not expect that it was going to go to blows. So Monique defends herself by saying, oh, well, you know, I have kids. This is what happens. You don't have kids, so you don't understand why I would be so tired. Candiace feels mom shamed, but you can't really mom shame somebody without a kid yet. But I can see why Candiace would say mom shaming, because I guess that's maybe the closest thing she could say, but that wasn't the case. You can't mom shame without being a mom. Or am I wrong? I don't know. That doesn't seem to be the case to me. You can't mom shame somebody who doesn't have any kids yet. I thought mom shaming was making another mom feel bad about something that they're doing or not doing right, or that you're doing and they can't do. That's what I thought. Whatever the case may be, Gizelle reasons that the issues that the ladies have are bigger than kid shaming and sleeping, and she is correct. And she would know because she helped stir this whole pot several episodes ago, okay? So we get the flashback to Gizelle engineering the drama behind the scenes with that good Ashley. Now, I have to say, I look at Ashley a little suspect in this situation too. But we'll continue to watch this play out, and I'll kind of give you guys my thoughts about that whole situation as time progresses. I want to see what the episodes give us to sort of see how it plays out, okay? Things escalate. You know, they get more dramatic with the argument. Candiace is doing a little twirl in the back with her glass, okay? They're both going back and forth. And this is kind of where I get annoyed. I get annoyed because, again, like I said in the beginning, Bravo splits the screen. Half of the screen is Watch What Happens Live. Half of the screen is Candiace and Monique going at it. This is what we really needed to see the most out of this episode, outside of Ashley and Michael. This is the part that most of us had been invested in seeing. This is the part that we had waited a year for. And all we got was a further split screen of the two of them. So you taking the show already, cut it in half. You taking that smaller screen, cut it in half. So now we see just 2/3 of a scene, basically. Y'all know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? I didn't understand why they did that. Maybe they wanted to do it so that they're not showing technically an altercation on television. I could not figure out for the life of me why that was done, but I just felt like we were cheated out of a moment that makes such a big deal for most of the cast for the rest of the season. So I didn't get that, okay? So Monique is saying, get your hand out of my face. Candiace is saying, are you gonna drag me? You gonna drag me? Monique is saying, do you want me to? You want me to? There's a hair flick. There's a push on the shoulder. And then the scene fades to black, okay? The scene fades to black. Now, I keep looking at this scene and trying to analyze it. I honestly spent about 40 minutes today trying to freeze frame every scene. Thank you for the super chat. Kiki Alice says, love Monique, always have. She was wrong. She wanted some action. She lost control. I think what I wanted to do was I wanted to be able to see exactly how it went down without all of the edits, and I can't see it. So outside of that, I think the biggest thing that I would have to say is that I'm just going to tell you about what I do. If I'm in an altercation with somebody, if I'm in a verbal altercation with somebody, it ain't got physical. We can argue from way over here. A couple of things I'm not going to do. I'm not going to ask you to hit me. Okay? That's just me. I'm not going to ask you to hit me because I feel like when you do, I ask for it. Bottom line. And actually, Andy asked Candiace this last night on Watch What Happens Live. He asked her, do you take any accountability? Because there are a lot of people who felt like you asked her to drag you, and she did. And she says no. But in my mind, again, I'm not going to ask you to pull my beard and throw me across the room if I don't want you to pull my beard and throw me across the room. Okay? That's just me. We can keep our hands to ourselves. Y'all know Tammy Roman says when those hands get to flying, and then next thing you know, she done mushed Mika Claxton. Okay. So yeah, it's such an unfortunate situation. I cannot wait to see the aftermath of this whole thing. I think that we're going to see some very revealing character-driven situations that come about after this. I would be interested in seeing if the cameras show Gizelle and Robyn's reactions. I just want to see it. And while Gizelle is not necessarily responsible for the actions that two people take, I do believe that her manipulations behind the scenes provided a lot of the fodder for what actually happened. But that's just me. I also think that Candiace and Monique should have had a sit-down conversation to hash out their issues, because there's a lot of built-up anger on both of their sides that I feel like could have been handled a lot differently if they had had the desire to sit down again, because apparently they sat down at the beginning of the season that was filmed. I felt like the producers needed to make them sit down again on camera to hash this out, or at least get to a place where they can either mutually agree or disagree. That's just my state. Yeah, I mean, that would have been me. I feel like the two of y'all need to have a conversation, because I feel like the audience needs to understand, and you two need to understand exactly what is the real issue that you guys have with each other. So it'll be interesting to see how this whole situation plays out. I can already see in the chatterization that a lot of you guys are split down the middle. There are those of you guys who you are correct. They should be on the conversation. I agree with you on that. This was probably the funniest comment I've seen all day. Thank you, Evelyn. I appreciate you. You know, and the crazy thing about it is, I feel like a lot of what I want to do on this channel is also to promote resolution. We can talk about, you know, who started it and who was wrong or who was more wrong. And I think if you ask both ladies in 5 years from now, they're both going to say, I was wrong here, or I was wrong here. I think that's what's going to happen. I do. I absolutely believe that. Because you can't pay me to think that with all the animosity that was built up in that situation, that there wasn't a lot of love there at some point in time. And, you know, that's just what I feel in my spirit, honestly. Exactly. Lily says, so biased. Yeah, I'm biased for wanting them to have a conversation. Get out of here. Who said this? Darnell says they can go see Jada at the red table. Yeah. I feel like they need to have a mediation. Here's the thing. And if I'm biased, so what? I'm just telling y'all, and here's the other thing too. I'm just telling y'all what I grew up with, okay? And what I grew up with is this. You don't ask for nothing that you ain't prepared to get. Thank you. Boom. Don't ask for nothing that you ain't prepared to get. So when you start telling somebody, drag me, and they drag you, don't cry wolf. Don't start crying about being the victim. If you ask for that and somebody give it to you, then you cannot be upset that you got it. That's bottom line. So what you gonna do then? That's really the thing for me. Like, just like when we saw Margaret on Real Housewives in New Jersey pour a drink all over Danielle Staub's head, and then when Danielle come up from behind her and do a yankerization of that good ponytail, Margaret can't cry victim then. She can't cry victim because you assaulted her. And pouring drink on somebody, whether you know it or not, in a lot of spaces is considered assault. So don't be asking for things that you're not prepared to either dish right back or get. And when you get it, don't be mad that somebody gave it to you. Like you walking around asking, drag me, and you get dragged. Okay, now what? Everyone's happy. Everyone got their wish. That's it. Bottom line. I'm not going to make any excuses for that. I'm not going to try to tiptoe the line on it. You don't like it? That's my opinion. So, and that's that. That doesn't mean that I have to dislike somebody. That just means that that's my opinion on what she did in that scene. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. So that's really Real Housewives of Potomac for this week. It was crazy. It was a crazy episode, y'all. There's some stuff that's breaking off with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills that I need to go and try to figure out. It looks like the streets are saying, hold on. Let me give y'all this tea real quick. Let me give it to y'all. Have y'all heard? Have y'all heard the news? According to Daily Mail and Page 6, Teddy Mellencamp is to be axed from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after 3 seasons after being branded boring and stale. Oh, this is legit it. Can y'all see that? Oh, snap. I think it's on Page 6 too. Sorry, y'all. We getting some spanking hot tea right here. Yep, it's on Page 6 as well. Oh, they are so shady when your husband's security company doesn't cover your job security. Wow. That's crazy. I was not, somebody had tagged me on it earlier and I thought it was just like they wanted her gone. Like I thought it was somebody's page that, regardless, it looks like it's real though. Anyway, listen, if some more tea drops off, I will be here to chat it up with you guys. We will continue to follow the news and see what's going on. If you guys have another show that you want me to follow and watch as well, let me know in the comments or in the chatterization. We're definitely going to be covering the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City when it comes out. So let me know what you guys think about that. With that being said, guys, I am out. We got some more stuff to do to get ready for getting all the furniture into the house, getting other supplies and stuff like that. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. And I will catch you guys in the next video.